For exceptional coverage of the San Bernardino shooting in California, the Pulitzer Prize in Breaking News goes to the staff of the Los Angeles Times.
Let's hear it for the LA Times, guys. I just want to say that I can be more proud of this newsroom and the work we do every day, and especially to everyone who worked on the San Bernardino story. I want to take you back to that moment in early December when we were called upon to cover a tragic and heartbreaking event. It was an attack inside a center in San Bernardino where 14 people were killed. It was the biggest attack on U.S. soil since 9/11. And like we often did, we flooded the zone. Shelby and his editors, flooded the zone.
And reporters.
And reporters. and no, you ordered. And we own the story. It was the epitome of how a story should be covered in the digital age, with tweets, breaking news alerts, great pictures, videos, and everything in between. It was not surprising that we own the story because the LA Times, often does a story in our backyard. But the context was very important. 2 weeks earlier, we lost 40 of our colleagues in a buyout. And in the next 2 weeks, we would be losing another 40, would be leaving. So a lot of people were thinking, how are we going to manage? And the answer in our coverage was emphatic. We owned the story. We were competitive. We were collaborative. And we were tireless. Two people who made sure that we didn't miss a beat in those early moments are standing with me here today. Our tireless California editor, Shelby Grad. And our deputy managing editor, Megan Garvey. Let's hear it again for them, please. There is little doubt, though, that this was a team effort and that this story belongs to the entire newsroom. And I'll tell you why. I want to salute the entire Metro staff who worked weeks on end without a break, without a day off, and asked for more to cover this story. Some people worked overnight. Many people stayed out in San Bernardino to get the job done. So if you're on the Metro staff or not, let's hear it for the Metro staff. We had major assists from Washington and foreign who pursued the story wherever it took them or took us, from the Pentagon to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to the hinterlands of Pakistan. Let's hear it for foreign. We had amazing work from photo. Our photographers took the iconic pictures of the attack. And we also produced compelling videos of the victims and their families. Our social media team, they were a sounding board for the community and a source for many, many stories. Our graphics and data team, they produced powerful visualizations of the inside of the scene and annotated the chase, if you remember that chase. The copy desk fielded hundreds, if not thousands, of posts and stories and captions and pictures. Our design desks, they produced on the spot several times extra, which were held up. Michael, can I see that? Which were held up on national TV. As you guys remember these? And this had to do with the fact that we had really crushing deadlines and didn't have the benefit of using the front page to carry our news of the day. As you can see, if we call out everyone who took part in this, we'd be here all day. But I just want to say this was a team effort. I encourage you to go online now and read the stories. It was the most current, it was the most accurate, and it was the most comprehensive coverage of this tragedy. And it was done with heart. Our heart still goes out to the victims in San Bernardino and their families. And as you savor this moment, I ask you to think about them. Also, this coverage showed me that not only is this an extremely resilient newsroom, but it's a newsroom that's indomitable with everything we've been through. It's a newsroom that rises to the occasion when everything is on the line. And you, the LA Times newsroom, delivers every time. So give yourself a round of applause. I'm honored to be your colleague and to be working alongside you. I spoke to Steve Lopez a few minutes ago. Steve was a finalist in the columnist in the community category. Steve told me to tell you he was sorry he couldn't be there, but as you know, you'd expect from Steve, he's in Long Beach reporting 2 columns. Steve said he remembered the time where you rallied to cover this story, and he said it was just like the old times, and he was proud to be part of it. You know, Steve attacked an issue that is very important for our time, which was income inequality in one of the most divided, stratified cities in America, and he did it with aplomb, as he usually does. Steve is a guy who has changed the city with his columns, as you know. He has won basically every award in the country. He's won a Mencken Award, Ernie Pyle Award. He's won 3 Emmys. He has won so many awards that he could fill a few shelves with awards. And he came up a little short this time. But as I reminded Steve, you know, Albert Einstein also didn't win for the theory of relativity, but he later won because they had to give it to him. And I'm sure that Steve will win someday because Steve talks about being here for at least another 10 years. We also had some finalists in the Tribune family. We had a finalist in Baltimore, also in breaking news, and we had a finalist on the Sun Sentinel for investigative reporting. I think it was in investigative reporting. One of our colleagues, who I want to salute, Alyssa Rubin, won in the foreign category for the New York Times. Alyssa started at the Wichita, it's a great success story. She started at the Wichita Eagle, was our Baghdad bureau chief, and later became the Paris bureau chief for the New York Times. Along the way, she did great journalism, and last year survived a helicopter crash. So if you guys know Alyssa, you'd agree that, you know, she is deserving of this award, and I'd like to, you know, give a round of applause to her. I'm sure we'll find, you know, other times to celebrate and to have a drink, but right now, let's grab the champagne and celebrate. And thank you, guys.
Well deserved. Thank you very